Kia ora y'all, I'm Alex. I'm the property lead for the Māngungu Mission and Heritage New Zealand Pouhere Taonga. We're here at the Māngungu Mission Station on the shores of the Hokianga Harbour. It's a Wesleyan mission station from the 1820s, and it's the site of the third and largest signing of the Treaty of Waitangi here on the 12th of February 1840.
Mihi atu kia koutou katoa, ko Mita Harris toku ingoa, no Hokianga ahau. Kia ora mai tātou. Ngā puhi nui tunu, ngā mihi atu ki ngā kāhui maunga takiwa te wharetapu o ngā puhi. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, kia ora hui tātou katoa. Kia ora, my name is Mita Harris and I work for Heritage New Zealand. I'm a director with Māori Heritage for Heritage New Zealand, and one of the previous places that I used to manage was this place here, but also from just up the river, and I am from that place, a little tribe called Ngāti Toro and Ngāti Hau, both mum and dad.
The mission house behind me was constructed in the late 1830s. It's one of the oldest buildings in New Zealand, and it's the site of one of our current conservation projects. This project is focused on the building itself. Our team are inside working to remove the 1970s wallpaper from the interior so we can get a better look at the sort of bones of the building.
This place holds a massive amount of history, not just for the locals but nationally as well. This place is where the treaty was brought to in 1840, and it was signed here on the 12th of February 1840. More people gathered here for the signing of the treaty than anywhere else in the country, which makes it significant. But as you can see, out on the river, they came from all the nooks and crannies of Hokianga, which stretches out to the west. So a lot of hapu, a lot of chief came here. About 70 odd chiefs of high rank signed the treaty here. This site was lived on previously 1840 by the Wesleyan missionaries. Now they originally came from up in Kaio, and if you look towards the hills around Puketi and Omahuta Forest, they come from a place called Whangaroa Harbour. A massive battle took place up there with Hongi Hika and Ngāti Pou, and Patuoni was asked to go up and to help. He went up to Whangaroa and met the Wesleyan missionaries there, near Manu Road now in Kaio. He brought the missionaries back to his kāinga. They originally settled up the valley here, a little place called Tarawaua. Patuoni and Nene came here and spoke to the local chiefs about them moving here. So they came down and they moved here and they set up permanently. So they had quite a bit of land that was given to them, or they purchased off the local chiefs. And they preached. They had the river here as the highway. They could go up and down and all over the place. And it's not too far to go over towards the Bay of Islands, but they settled here. And obviously we've got one of the houses, the original houses, that were here on site as well.
The story of the mission house is one of a building on the move. In the mid-1850s, this house gets put on a barge and shipped down to Auckland. And over the next century or so, it's relocated and repurposed several times, being used as a parsonage and a private residence in Auckland. In the 1970s, with the help of the local community, the building is relocated back here to Mangungu. If you think about your own home and how you might tinker on that on the weekend, places like this are no different. They change the layouts of the walls, they use paints and wallpapers to help personalise it, and we can follow those changes through the history of the house across nearly 2 centuries. Within the different rooms, we've found pages from books and newspaper prints dating from the early 19th through to the 20th century. There's some very vibrant 19th century wallpapers, and there's text handwritten on the wall in English and Te Reo. And we want to make sure that we can preserve those, and they'll also help inform some of our conservation approaches for Mangungu in the future. It's the little house on the hillside above the harbour, but it's an important and early bicultural site in New Zealand's history.
So if you look up the river there, you can imagine Governor Hobson coming down with his entourage through here and then being welcomed on by the Wesleyan Church and he stayed here the night before the following day to sign Te Titi. And if you can imagine this ground here just full of, between 2,000 and 3,000 people sitting here and listening to the kōrero about this new thing called Te Titi. The place has a significance for the locals that every year we celebrate on the 12th the signing of the treaty. No matter what day that falls on, that day is celebrated. So if you can imagine here during the summertime in February, close to 200, 300, 400 odd people coming here and having a kōrero about Te Titi and the future, general kōrero about what's happened in the world and locally, and having quite a feast. And out on the vista here we have our waka, local waka, and some waka from other parts of the region that take part in the celebrations as well, giving a waka salute just beyond the church here. So it's quite a significant place. There's kōrero toward looking to the future that Mangungu has a significant role to play for the future of the region, but also this country as well. And kōrero and conversations are happening now to move to have something that represents that built on this site, something Māori, something around the thought of representation and moving forward and helping the country move forward as well. So it's a significant place, not just before but now and into the future as well.